the 9th overall pick in the 2018 WNBA draft and current member of the Minnesota Lynx, Lexie Brown. Lexie, thank you for hopping on the pod real quick.
The pod, glad to be here.
All right, so listen, this year was very unique for sports because players were in a wobble in the WNBA's case, and you vlogged during your time in Bradenton. What can you tell me about that experience?
Well, overall, it was a very difficult experience. I can't speak for everybody, but for me personally, I struggled with it. You know, some days were better than others, but I will credit the WNBA, the league. They did an amazing job of getting it together, making sure that we were comfortable, had a safe environment. I think the season went seamlessly, allowed us to, speak on the social justice initiatives that were important to us. That was the best part about it all. But vlogging definitely helped the day-to-day life. It was fun, kind of broke the ice with some of the new girls on the team and things like that. But overall, it was a good experience. I'm just really glad that we were able to have a season.
Right. And so you talked about you struggled a little bit, but really you had a concussion from early in the season. And I think you tweeted in October, a month after the season, that you had been cleared. What was that process? Why did it take so long?
It was super frustrating. And now I feel for anybody who ever had a concussion, especially, on the basketball side, because that's not really a sport people would consider to be super, high content, maybe a football. So I got hit back-to-back games, first 2 games of the season, got hit. The first hit was on a screen. Second hit, I actually hit the floor. So they ruled me out. And with the concussion, it's basically you. So there's no exercises or anything that you can do that speed up, or your trainer or the doctor can't really tell you how you feel. Sometimes say an ankle, they're like, okay, it feels stable, you can practice today. Literally, it's how do you feel today, Lexie? And then I have to tell them. So
you were not feeling right.
I was not feeling right, but I sat out two or 3 games, I think, and I was like, I can't sit out anymore. This is the worst. So
because you came back.
I came back in less than a week, which is not normal. And I didn't lie about my symptoms, but I wasn't, experiencing anything, too terrible. And I was like, I can play through this, fine. But then maybe 2-3 weeks after I started playing again, I started getting symptoms. But for me, I'd never had a concussion before. I've never really known anybody with a concussion. So I didn't really put the pieces together oh, maybe this is still symptoms from my concussion. So it's called Post-Concussion Syndrome. And it's basically, all your symptoms come rushing back times 100. So I was just dealing with that. And I was like, I don't want to complain. Sil was hurt. Shanice, Odyssey was coming back. Rachel was out for a little bit. I was just I can deal with this. And this is something that I can just handle. And then eventually it just got too much for me to handle.
And you need to take care of your health first. So I'm glad you did what you should have done, which is health first. And just because, people, a lot of times when we hear concussion, we all just think, all right, I'm going to snap back. But I'm glad that you took it as serious as it was, because that's something, as you talked about in basketball, you don't hear about it a lot, but it's a thing. I had a teammate, Allison Hightower, back in Connecticut, who suffered a really bad concussion, and I saw it firsthand. So I get it completely.
Yeah.
And speaking of Minnesota, so we both played in the same cities, Connecticut, Minnesota, both have amazing fan bases, but what's one of your craziest fan stories? And it could be from something online. It can be anything. What was something that made you be whoa?
I feel like I have a lot. I mean, I feel like people would be I get in a lot of arguments with fans on Twitter. So,
I love it. I have a question coming back. I have a question for that too.
Yeah, I think that's all of us though. I think we've all calmed down a little bit. But actually recently I was in Florida doing this speaking engagement with some of these girls who played basketball in the Orlando area. And, I talked to them after we did a Q&A. We were making TikToks. It was just fun. And then all of a sudden this man appeared in the corner. It was in a gym, and he was just creeping. He had a hat on, he was just creeping, and everyone was like, who is that guy? And nobody knew who he was. And he was like, I'm just here to see Lexie. I just want to see Lexie. And they were they rushed me out of the gym and blocked me in this room. And I was
crazy.
like,
And is
that
that
was
like,
weird.
is that a real concern? Because like people don't understand. I know the trolls, you guys think we don't have fans, but in real life, there are people that really are fans. Is that like something that happens to you more often than people would think?
Well, I've gotten really careful about, posting like where I am and things like that. Like when I was in college and stuff, I was like real careless about, if I'm at this restaurant, I'm gonna post the restaurant I'm at. And usually because I do want to show love if like I had a good experience somewhere, but I usually do wait till I'm gone.
Yeah.
And then I post it because people like will pull up on you, or I've had people message me, be like, oh, yo, I saw you in the airport. Like, I wish I like said something, or like, were you at this place? Like, I swore I saw you at this place. Like, it's kind of creepy. Cause at the end of the day, like just speak if you want to speak. And then if you just don't speak, then don't be a weirdo and message me.
Don't stalk
like
the whole. So
stalker.
this happened to me at Publix. And I'm so sad because it's the one that's like right by my house. And the person, I knew who they were when they DM'd me because they just kind of like were just doing that stare thing. And I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, where you can feel somebody's like, you can feel them looking.
Like,
and so I would
hey, turn my face back.
Just say something. I would rather you say something and be like, all right, respect, in COVID times, we got to dap it up like that. But so let me just say, we would much rather people just say something, say hello.
We're really like the most approachable athletes, I think. Us.
Facts.
One, because we look like we don't look, I mean, unless like me and you, for example, we like look
we're
like
normal
people. We're normal sized. Like taller players, like, okay, I understand they might be a little more intimidating, but like us, like we just like, I mean, I like interacting with fans. I mean, now obviously times are weird to like just talk to random people. You don't know what they've been doing or what they've been around, but I love interacting with people. But when I get some crazy messages on
that's you way to set it up, because I was going to say, so social media now is like this power machine. First of all, they're all morphing into the same social media, so we're all just gonna have to pick one and roll to it. But what would you say is like the craziest DM you've gotten?
Oh gosh, they're not appropriate for this podcast. I've gotten I've gotten like explicit photos. I've gotten like obviously one-on-one requests.
The remote control pictures.
Oh man, I'm like, I don't want this. I don't know you. And even if I did know you.
I have to do a poll because I have to know if there are any women that want those photos. Like, not like you don't know him, but I think that people that don't even know the person that sent it, like the people that actually know him, I mean, no one wants that photo. Like, you don't want an unprompted.
Unsolicited pictures. We don't want them.
We don't want them.
Especially not from a stranger. Actually, I will say recently, I've been wearing like a lot of high heels in my pictures, and I've gotten a lot of like feet picture requests.
Oh, the foot fetish people.
Which makes me really happy because I used to be really insecure about my toes.
So you're enjoying that.
So I'm like, oh yeah, there was a page and it just had all these people's, it was like celeb feet pics or something. And my feet were out there and I was like, yes, pedicure. I got some long toes. I got long toes.
Okay, so social media, we know, is like this machine. What would you say is the best pro for social media and the best cons when it comes to social media?
For me, like in general, or like for me personally?
For you. I mean, in general, for you, whichever one, doesn't matter.
Okay, we'll say in general, I think it's allowed people to like tell their own stories and, be their own brand and like basically build it from the ground up. You don't really have to depend on if like the media likes you or dislikes you, or if people like you or dislike you based on the little pieces that they see like on TV or online, other people posted about you. You basically have complete control of your story. And I love that because people really try to mess up people's stories because they just feel like it and they're evil and they're unhappy. So they'll try and, tell your story and they'll tell it all wrong and leave holes and stuff. So, I don't really like having to like defend myself if like I see something that, that's not true or like something, especially if it's from like some random source. But like, I think the first time I've really had to defend myself is when I left the Wubble and like the Lynx didn't really say anything about it. I didn't really say anything about it. They were about to, make a playoff push to like, we like had an understanding like me leaving was like not something that we were going to bring any focus on, because one, that's selfish on my part, and it's about them, and they had a, you know, a job to do, a job to finish. So I see people like on Twitter. Like,
but what did you have to defend? I'm confused though. I know the whole
because
situation.
People thought, because the thing about concussions is you look fine. That's the thing about the concussions. People are like, Lexie, how you feeling? I'm like, I feel fine. I just have like really bad headaches all day. But like, you can't see a headache. Like,
AKA a concussion though.
Yeah. Like, so like when I left, you know, I kind of just left, you know, even like when I left school, like I just left. Like I didn't say nothing about it. They didn't say anything about it. It was just like, she left, the end. And I'm like, so okay, I was hoping that people would appreciate that. But like, it was like all types of speculation going on. And I was like, someone even told me, they're like, oh, we thought you left because you wanted to go do modeling and stuff. Someone told me that.
No
I was like,
told them that. They made that up themselves.
That is like modeling? And I can do like I can do that in my hotel room, as y'all have been seeing the whole time, taking my own pictures and stuff. But yeah, so like after the season was over, like officially, then I had to hop on Twitter and be like, I know y'all are wondering, but I still have a concussion and I've been going to PT for it, and it's still very much bothering me, and that's why I had to leave. And then
was it your choice to leave? Like, were they just kind of like, okay, at this point, you just probably should just go get in a better environment? Like, what was the decision to leaving? Like,
it was my symptoms were just progressively getting worse. And then like, I think like the cherry on top was was it overtime game? We had some close, it was the Mercury game that we barely won. And I was going crazy on the sidelines, because that's what I do on the sidelines.
Yeah, you shouldn't be doing that.
And after the game, I was like, Chuck, who's our trainer, I was like, Chuck, I feel terrible right now. Like, oh my goodness. So I think there was just conversations with the doctors and the coaches, and they were just
they had to save you from yourself, basically, because if you stayed on the
I'd be acting up. If people have ever watched us play, I'd be acting a fool on the sidelines. Like,
that's exactly what happened.
So I was jumping, yelling, and then I got to my room that night, and I was like, yo, I feel like trash. So that was
your head probably felt like you played, and you
exactly.
I'm glad they saved you from yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to read a couple tweets, and then I want you to elaborate on them. I want you to elaborate.
Is this how celebrities feel when they get their old tweets dug up and they get in trouble? You are a
celebrity, so welcome. All right, the first tweet said, it's been crazy watching overprivileged white people try to undermine everything and anything in the name of Black Lives Matter. Please, Karen, let us enjoy things sometimes, because in reality, 99% of products were never made for us. So we are able to bust down doors and receive opportunities. It's really important for us to be able to enjoy it. Yeah, I wasn't gonna set you up for nothing bad.
I love this song. I know exactly why I tweeted that. You know what it was? Our Glossier campaign had just come out.
Yep.
And some little Karen, I don't even know if it was a Karen, but all problematic white people, male or female, are Karen. They brought up quote tweeted with some article about some kids in some white boys in the Glossier store somewhere, like messing up like all the makeup, or like taking all of like the darker complexion makeups and like putting it on their face and whatever. And they were like, basically like the store didn't do anything. I'm like, what do you want to like, what do you want? They're kids. Like, obviously it's a problem. They're like, the employees didn't feel safe, or they didn't feel protected. But I was just like, what does this one incident in a little store have to do with this amazing campaign that they just put out?
So what was the correlation they were trying to make? I don't even understand what is the point they were trying to make.
I think they were just trying to be like, Glossier really doesn't care about Black women. And I was just like,
what? And I'm just to that point of the Glossier, I'm going to read another one. The WNBA has been around for 20 plus years, and this is the first beauty deal.
Unbelievable.
Like, I mean, can we have something?
Unbelievable. Like,
I loved it.
Literally anything. There's so many, and people, like, the response to the campaign was so positive.
When I tell you, I saw it as a fan would see it. You know, like I wasn't in the making of it or anything. So I just saw it like when it landed on the social media, and I was like, well, this is a real campaign. Like, and I say that meaning, like, you know, sometimes people have done stuff with the WNBA and it's like, it's a halfway campaign. It's like they might have given people some product here and there. This was a real campaign, like had influencers, which were the WNBA players, put time, effort, money into it, product into it. Like, I was hype. I'm like,
it was so amazing. It was so fun to make. It took a while, but like, again, like we wasn't doing nothing in the bubble anyway. So I was like so excited to like make all the videos and do the voiceovers. And I love Glossier, and I've always like, there's this big Glossier store in LA on Melrose that I always want to go into, but the line is always like around the corner. My little sister loves Glossier. And she's like, I see your commercial every time I open up my phone, because she always be on Glossier and stuff, you know, the internet, you know, the people in your phone.
And you know what? I'm glad you said that, because people that support WNBA, please, 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 when you see real campaigns like that, support the campaign, because that's how people keep coming back. And so again, that was like a real campaign.
That was our first, like, that blew my entire mind. Like, beauty and skin, like that doesn't always mean like glamour and makeup. Like there's so many female products that, you know, could partner with the WNBA, and they haven't yet. And I'm just like,
I'll never understand it. Especially products that are made specifically for women. I feel like that's like a no-brainer. It's the craziest thing to me. So I'm glad Glossier was the first, and I know they won't be the last. That's what I'll say. Quote, shouts to Madam Vice President. That's what she said. Speaking of Madam Vice President, we have a segment called Heroes in Real Life. So who would you say is a hero in real life to you?
A hero in real life to me, I have a lot. I know this is probably cliche, but I'm gonna say my mom for sure.
Go right ahead.
She stay-at-home mom, you know, which I think is one of the hardest jobs in the world.
We're all seeing it right now. If you don't think so, everybody that's homeschooling right now.
Yeah, so there's 4 of us. I'm the oldest. She actually did homeschool one of my sisters for 2 years, I think, which was hard for her, but you know, they made it through. So my sister Lissa, she just graduated from UCF.
Shouts to Lissa.
Yeah, you know, COVID's kind of complicated her, you know, situation, but you know, she's a college grad, I'm so proud of her for that. My other sister Lonnie is at William & Mary on a basketball scholarship. She's brilliant.
This is a sports family, you hear me?
And then Anakin, my youngest brother, is a freshman in high school, and he just made his varsity basketball team.
Okay.
So, you know, she 4 for 4 so far, you know, Anakin. You got 3 years.
Come on, Anakin, now.
So come on, Anakin.
The family depends on you.
The entire success of the Brown family is on your shoulders, Anakin. But you know, she's raised like 4 so unique and brilliant and special kids, and I think, like, you know, I don't think I tell her thank you enough for the things that she does. But you know, I've been around her a lot the last few months. We've spent a lot of time together, and it's been great. I really enjoy being around her. She's like my bestie. So shout out to
that. Okay, now on to the fun questions, my favorite part. These are like quick hitters. You can explain if you want to, if it's a weird answer, because some people do want to explain their answers, but typically it could be quick hitters. Starting with, who is a celebrity that if you met in person, you might fangirl over?
Rihanna.
Nice.
Definitely.
What was your AIM name?
Oh gosh. I had a few, because, you know, I was getting in trouble, so I always had to remake, you know, usernames. I think my favorite one, it was Sugar and Spicy 831.
Sugar and Spicy what?
831, which is I love you. You know, the little weird things that we did when we were younger. Sugar and Spicy.
I was RDM Taz, so I get it. It's ridiculous.
Spicy, like, what?
Are you currently binge watching anything?
Yes.
What?
I am binge watching 2 shows. Is that possible to do that? That's how much time I have.
Yes.
First show is Schitt's Creek on Netflix,
Okay.
which is one of the funniest shows I've ever seen in my life. And then the second one is Queen's Gambit, which is also on Netflix.
Yes, I was hoping so. How do you feel about Queen's Gambit? Our last guest said 9.5 out of 10. On a 10 scale, what are you thinking, Queen's Gambit?
I'm gonna give it a 9 only because I don't know anything about chess. So sometimes I'm a little confused.
Same.
Sometimes I have to like run some scenes back.
Get this. You'll get this. People that haven't seen it won't, but she'll be looking at the ceiling, moving stuff around, and I'll be like,
huh? I've been like, maybe I'm gonna learn how to play chess, but no, I still have no. How do you win? She wins a different way every game.
Listen, that girl is talented. Okay, so you would give the Queen's Gambit a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, it's a great show. I think I'm halfway through, so I think it's about to get spicy. I mean,
I'm only on 3 episodes, so no spoiler alerts.
Oh yeah, it gets spicy. It was a little slow. It's a little slow at the beginning, but it definitely revs up.
Okay, so what would you consider the best TV show of all time?
The best TV show of all time.
Of all time.
I'm just going to say this because, this is a show that I can watch anytime, any day, whether I'm happy, sad. I'm going to go with The Office.
Okay. I thought you was going to go with Modern Family.
I love Modern Family too. That's close second. That show is funny. That show is
what?
Funny. Do you know that they don't have Modern Family on Netflix in the United States, but they have it in Mexico? Because I went to Mexico.
They didn't want to pay that tab. That's all
I went to Mexico with my girlfriends, and at nighttime I was watching Modern Family on my iPad, and then I came back here and it was gone. And I didn't
know that.
Me either. But I got me a VPN, overseas life, so we good.
They don't know. They don't know nothing about that. They don't know. What do you think is the best sports movie of all time?
This best sports movie of all time. Space Jam.
Oh, okay. I like that answer.
It's iconic. It's an iconic movie for kids, but I love it. I love Space Jam.
That's a great choice. That is the first choice. That's a great choice. What would you say the best holiday movie is?
Holiday movie. I feel like Home Alone is the only right answer, right?
It's the only right answer. So
I think as I've gotten older, I've disliked Christmas movies because they're so corny. Actually, let me take that back. I really like Christmas with the Cranks. That movie.
I need to see that.
It's funny.
What about This Christmas? How you feeling about that? I'm dead.
Who made that? Was that a Tyler Perry movie?
I have no idea.
Gave me Tyler Perry energy. And his movies. You know what his movies are like.
I'm dead.
Tyler Perry. I want to have a conversation with that man about his movies because just every Black female trauma ever possible is in every one of his movies.
Okay, but you know what? I mean, it's funny because when you said that, I think a lot of people would get what you mean by, is that a Tyler Perry movie? I don't think it is.
Only because I don't know. He's made so many movies that are so the same. You watch 5 minutes of a Tyler Perry movie without knowing it's a Tyler Perry movie, you're like, this.
He's making a killing. He's making a killing off of us. All right, so what's your favorite fast food?
Chick-fil-A.
Not Arby's?
Ugh. I know, that means you saw my story yesterday, huh?
Yeah.
A line for Arby's.
Agree.
I was perplexed. I was like, there's no way all y'all like roast beef sandwiches this much. Ew. One of my friends was like, you gotta try the curly fries. I said, no, maybe if someone brings me some curly fries and I'm starving, I'll eat them. But I'm not going to wait in a drive-through line for no Arby's, bro.
I'm dead. Okay, so Chick-fil-A, favorite NBA team?
My favorite NBA team are the Celtics. Boston Celtics.
Boston Celtics, favorite NFL team?
Patriots, even without Tom.
Okay, because I was going to say that. Has it changed since
No, and then we saw Tom play in Tampa, and he was terrible. And that's probably because we were there can you please come back to New England? But then this past week, he played so well. So I was like, where was that?
It's a wrap for that.
Man, when he left,
what about Cam Newton?
I've never been a Cam Newton fan. Like even when he was in college, and I don't like the way he writes his captions on Instagram.
Oh, I don't even know how he does it, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like all those symbols and weird stuff. I'm like, you just weird, bro.
I'm dead. Predictions. This NBA year, who's going to take it all?
I was going with Golden State, but the news today broke my heart. I'm like, Clay, can you take mine, Clay, please?
No, wait, you actually play too. So
I know, but Clay's like he's so unproblematic. He plays so hard. So I was going with Golden State. But honestly, I couldn't tell you.
It's hard now because there's so much movement. It's hard because
there's so much movement. So we can circle back to this in like a week when free agency is over.
I feel it.
We have no idea what's about to go. James Harden trying to leave, Russell trying to leave, Jamal might leave. Like there's so many like big names. Just
Bradley Beal, I keep hearing thrown around there.
It's gonna be crazy. I love free agency. It's so messy.
I do too. I'm like updating the timeline. Woes, like shams. I'm like trying to see everything. Yeah,
it's so messy and spicy.
Spicy. Okay, so what was your first? Oh, I got a little bit of money purchase.
My first I got a little bit of money purchase was when we were on a road trip in Chicago. I went to the Gucci store and I got a belt and sneakers.
You better get your designer.
I was so excited. And I never wear the sneakers because they're not that
never what?
I don't even wear them that much.
No,
I mean, they're not like the type of shoes you can wear like them not like everyday shoes. They'd be like,
because people will notice and be like, you wear those. They don't even go with that outfit. I see you trying to just wear your Gucci shoes. Yeah, I got you.
But the belt, I love the belt. That's, I'm an accessories person when it comes to designer stuff because you can wear it forever. And
I like that. And it takes like the outfit up a notch. I get that.
Exactly.
Okay, so I end everyone with a question. How are you connecting while being remote?
How am I connecting while being remote? To be honest with you, probably this goes against the whole grain of that question is like, no, I've kind of like disconnected I've kind of like taken a breath and kind of gotten super in tune with my family. That started back in March when like COVID first started. I spent so much time with them. I've actually, gotten really close with some friends, lost contact with some friends. I think this time has like really made me realize and reevaluate what's important to me, things that I value. So I'm not, doing the most, it's been so hard because sometimes you're like, well, I need to like stay relevant. I need to keep my presence, online because that's basically all we have right now. But then some days I'm just like, F all of this social media trash.
I'm disconnected. I
hate all of this. So
I feel like that's like a form of self-care though. Like if you're feeling like, all right, this is a time that I can take a break, be with the family, that's self-care. So that's just as important.
And I've followed so many people, like some of my friends who like have done that. They just like won't post anything for like a few weeks. And then they'll be like, okay, sorry guys, I needed to, take care of my mental. I'm back. And I'm just like, that shit is real. Like,
wow, yeah.
Now as an adult, like social media is a mess. Speaking of social media, did you watch that documentary, The Social Dilemma on Netflix?
I need to wait. Was it a documentary or was there a show? I think I watched the one with the guy from Luke Cage.
It's a documentary. I don't know what show that is.
Oh, no, I need to watch that. I know why I didn't watch it because everybody told me if you watch it, you don't want to like deal with social media. I'm like, let me leave it alone.
No, well, that's not what happened to me because.
What happened to you?
I was just kind of like, I know all of this. And maybe that's why I get annoyed with social media because social media doesn't stress me out. It gets on my nerves. And it like stresses some people out. And
I don't get that. Like, cause if I don't want to be bothered, first of all, nobody can bother me on the internet.
Exactly.
There's something about like me that my feelings don't get hurt very easy anyway. And so if I don't know you, like there's probably like a 0.0001% of you like even affecting my mental. Like I'm for real. Like I'm one of those.
I mean, you be clapping back too, but it's like people think we're pissed or we're mad, but it's like for me, it's that like I have to get the last word in.
Like for me, it's like this is what I think when I'm about to clap back. I'm like, oh wow, you're so wrong and you don't even know it.
Oh,
Like that's
exactly.
Like, wow.
Just drop some facts on you real quick. Like,
and I'm not, and you made a good point. I'm never mad. Like I literally am probably laughing at you as I'm typing it. Like,
and like the things I post, like 95% of what I post on anything, like, it's just trash. To like just...
Yeah, and I always think, like, I don't know why these people think that like attacking, like having their friends tell us about the same jokes and think that people care. It's just like, gosh, they're so corny and I just want to laugh. Like, you guys are helping. I don't know if people know how social media works, but brands like engagement. They don't check the comments to see if the engagement is like, oh, this is the most positive engagement. So I hope the trolls know that you guys actually help us out with all that engagement. Thank you for being a fan. Thank you for being a fan.
Thank you. We love you. We love you.
Yes. All right. Listen, my fellow, what are we called? Colleagues? We're not co-workers, colleagues. My fellow WNBA colleague, Lexie Brown, thank you so much. We're not normal work terms. Like,
I know.
Thank you so much for coming on the pod. This is fun. This was fun. Thank you.
That's fun, of course. Thank you for having me.